Imagine this. You're standing on a suspension bridge, high above the ground. The wind is howling, the ropes creak.
Your heart pounds, and for a brief moment, it feels like the entire world is in motion, shifting beneath you. The bridge sways like it might snap any second. You're not just walking, you're feeling every gust of wind, every shift of weight. It's not just scary, it's raw, it's intense. Now picture yourself meeting someone in this moment. The adrenaline, the tension, the uncertainty. What does it make you feel? Sounds romantic, right? But wait, there's something deeper going on here. This isn't just a love story, it's science. It's a psychological experiment that flipped the script on everything we think we know about attraction.
Back in the 1970s, a group of researchers set out to test a curious idea. They wanted to know, how do emotions, specifically fear and adrenaline, affect our perceptions of others? So they took a bunch of men and women and placed them in two very different environments. One group stayed on solid, stable ground. The other, they were sent to a wobbly, swaying suspension bridge that could have been straight out of a nightmare. What happened next was nothing short of mind-blowing.
Women who met the men on that shaky bridge were far more likely to call them back. But here's the kicker. It wasn't because the men were particularly charming. It wasn't their looks. It wasn't even their words. It was the fear, the rush of adrenaline that comes with standing on a rickety, high-altitude bridge. Those women, flooded with emotion, their hearts racing, their nerves on edge, misinterpreted that fear as attraction. That's right. They mistook their physiological response for romantic interest.
So, why does this matter? Well, it tells us something crucial about how humans function, how we connect. What's the one thing that sticks in someone's mind long after the conversation's over? It's not the facts you spouted off or the perfect thing you said. It's how they felt in that moment. It's about the emotions you stirred up inside them. Let that sink in for a second. This study didn't just reveal something about attraction. It opened the door to a whole new way of thinking about relationships, power, and connection. Because in the end, it wasn't about the words or the logic. It was about the emotional experience that was created. The physical sensations, the rush, the vulnerability, those were the things that stuck with the women. The logical, structured aspects of the interaction, forget about it. They were irrelevant. What mattered was the chemistry, the feeling. And guess what? It's not just women who are wired this way. It's all of us. Our memories, our decisions, our reactions. They're often more influenced by how we feel than by what we actually think or say. Now, let's zoom out for a second. Let's talk about why this principle is so important. Because here's the thing. Most guys out there, well, they're completely blind to this truth. They think attraction is all about facts. It's about looking perfect, saying the right thing, dropping a few witty lines, or showing off some big accomplishment. But what's the reality? The reality is that it's never been about that. It's about how you make someone feel. Think about it. How many guys do you know who spend hours in front of the mirror picking out the perfect outfit, rehearsing the perfect lines, trying to nail the perfect approach? They think that if they play the game just right, the woman will fall for them. The reality? That's a losing game. Women aren't looking for the perfect script. They're looking for something real, something emotional, something that hits them right in the gut. And here's the painful truth most guys refuse to accept. Women won't remember what you said. They won't care about how clever you were or how much you flaunted your accomplishments. What they'll remember is how you made them feel in the moment. You might think your resume is what's going to win her over, but she's not paying attention to that. She's not mentally checking off your list of achievements. She's experiencing something deeper. She's feeling your energy, your presence, your confidence, or lack of it. Now, let's dive a little deeper into this. Here's a harsh fact. Women biologically are wired to prioritize emotion over logic, and while that might sound like a flaw to some, it's not. It's survival. For thousands of years, women had to make split-second decisions about who they could trust, who could protect them, who could provide for them, who could make them feel safe, secure, and cared for. Their survival depended on understanding a man's emotional impact on them, and this, my friends, is where attraction truly begins. Take a step back. Think about this from a primal perspective. When a woman interacts with a man, she's not listening to his every word, analyzing his speech like an academic essay. She's not running through his biography in her head. What she's doing is much more instinctual. She's gauging how he makes her feel. Does he make her feel safe? Does he make her feel intrigued? Does he spark excitement, curiosity? Or does he make her feel uneasy, awkward, bored? And that's where the disconnect happens, because most men today are still stuck in the belief that attraction is a logical equation. They think it's about saying the right things, being super smart, or showing off their physical assets. But what happens when they miss the emotional mark? What happens when they're trying too hard to be perfect? They fail. Women don't feel anything. They don't feel connected. They feel indifferent, and indifference is the killer of attraction. Now, think about the men who are unforgettable. I'm not talking about the guys with the sharpest lines, the best looking suits, or the most impressive achievements. I'm talking about the men who spark something in women, something powerful, the men who leave a mark, the ones who don't just have conversations, they create experiences. Let me ask you, have you ever met someone who, when they speak to you, you don't just hear their words, you feel their words, their presence fills the room, they don't play it safe, they take risks, they tease, they challenge you mentally, they make you feel something, and that's why they're unforgettable. It's not the words they say, it's the emotional impact they create. And this isn't just modern day advice, it's ancient wisdom. Take Julius Caesar, for example. The guy didn't just win battles, he didn't just conquer, he won loyalty, love, and devotion by making his men feel unstoppable. It wasn't his strategy alone, it was the emotions he stirred up, the way he made his soldiers feel like they could do anything. That's how he led. That's how he created loyalty that lasted long after his death. Look at any powerful man throughout history, and what you'll find is the same thing. The men who made a difference didn't just rely on logic and facts, they inspired emotions. Women were drawn to that. The raw, powerful emotions those men evoked were what made them memorable. So, here's the ultimate truth you need to understand. Attraction is not a checklist. It's not about saying the right things or having the right body or the perfect set of credentials. It's about how you make her feel when you speak to her. It's about the emotions you stir up with your energy, your confidence, your presence. Think about it. The next time you talk to a woman, don't obsess over the words. Don't stress about being perfect. Instead, focus on creating an emotional connection. Challenge her mind. Keep her on her toes. Spark curiosity. Make her feel intrigued, excited, or even a little bit playful. Here's a key takeaway. Confidence is attractive, but it's not the confidence itself that's the draw. It's the emotions that confidence creates. A confident man doesn't just look good. He makes her feel safe, excited, curious, and intrigued all at once. And that's what keeps her thinking about him long after the conversation is over. But if you're nervous, apologetic, or constantly trying to please her, what kind of energy are you putting out? Nervous energy isn't attractive. It makes her feel uncomfortable. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. At the end of the day, this is what truly matters. When you talk to a woman, forget the specifics. Don't worry about the perfect line. Focus entirely on how you make her feel. Create an emotional experience. If you can do that, if you can tap into those deeper feelings, she'll remember you. And when you master this, attraction becomes effortless. It's not just about the conversation, it's about the feeling that lingers long after you've walked away. Remember, the only thing women truly remember is how you made them feel. And that's the key to becoming unforgettable.